In January 1978, Gered Mankowitz photographed Kate Bush in his London Soho studio. The images became part of music folklore, shot in rehearsal clothes with simple accessories and a distressed canvas backdrop. It marked a pivotal point in her career and helped to shape the public perception of her as an emerging superstar. Now, you guys love the Marilyn Monroe inspired shoot that we put out recently, so Hasselblad challenged us to make a second tribute shoot. So here we are, it's 2026, I'm in Hong Kong, and I'm recreating Mankowitz's shoot using Felicia as our model, working with a professional hair and makeup artist to echo Bush's look, whilst adding a modern polish using the Modern Hasselblad equipment. This is volume 2 of Classic vs. Modern Hasselblad Recreation, the Kate Bush album cover. Mankowitz suggested outfits that reflected Bush's dance background. So she wore pink and green leotards, tight scarves and leg warmers, and the backdrop for the shoot was a boxing ring canvas from a gym below his studio in London. Its distressed texture gave the portraits a raw look, more of a rehearsal space vibe than the glowing beauty type shots that were common at that time. I'm a huge fan of Gered's work, and we're actually in touch on Instagram. I feel this series in particular showed the interplay between the photographer and the talent, and the impact that visual images can have socially. One image in particular in this series became kind of infamous. Bush in a pink leotard, strong eye contact with a softness and sincerity. Arguably, it was one of the strongest shots in the series, but EMI rejected it for UK release, calling it too revealing, as you could see the outline of her nipples through the fabric. Yet in Japan, the same image was used for the Kick Inside album cover. So what was scandalous in London became iconic abroad, and Bush herself was comfortable with the photo, and Mankowitz later said he didn't think it was a problem. So flash forward, and it's 2026, and sheer fabrics and rehearsal wear aren't controversial these days. Standards have shifted. Artists like Prince and Maroon 5 and Lizzo have appeared nude on their own album covers. Having said that, this is still YouTube, so we have to be a bit careful about what we share. If you want to see the full behind the scenes of how the day goes, you can check it out over at Patreon Uncut. We'll have that linked below. Mankowitz described Bush's energy on the shoot as wonderful but exhausting. He said she could simply look at the camera and you would melt. He shot around 20 rolls of film on their first session, and he let her personality lead the mood of the shoot. So for my recreation, I'll echo that approach. First of all, just let Felicia move freely, we'll play some music, let her bring her own energy to the frame before I step in with direction. Now the goal isn't to copy every detail, but to capture the same kind of spirit, the intimacy, the grit, and the atmosphere. Mankowitz shot exclusively on Hasselblad medium format cameras throughout his entire career. In the late 1970s, I believe he was using the 500C with the Carl Zeiss 80mm f2.8 planar and the Sonar 150 f4. I think that's a reasonable guess at his kit. For my recreation, I'm going to use the X2D with 3 different modern lenses. So we've got the 90mm prime, that's the V lens for waist-up portraits. Then I've got the 135 f2.8 for tighter headshots with strong compression. And then I've got the 35 to 100 variable aperture, fantastic zoom lens that I'll use for some wider options, and it just gives me some versatility in terms of the frames that I want to take on the day. For most of the shooting, I'll keep the aperture around f5.6 to f8 to echo that crisp studio look, but I'll also experiment for some at like f4. Some of the shots he shared did have good separation and were a little softer in the face. My Hasselblad setup guide includes a full overview of the XCD lens range, as well as setup for studio shooting and much more. You can see full details below. So in the original shots of Mankowitz and Bush, as I look at them and kind of break it down myself, there's no documented evidence. It looks like it was shot with nice, big, soft studio light. Essentially, that just means big. I'm going to keep it simple, seeing the vibe was meant to be rehearsal space. I don't want to have 5 different lights going on. So it's gonna be one light and a reflector, and for a couple of the shots we'll also need a colored hair light. So in terms of outfits, the best I could find is this singlet top, but quite hilarious. It's actually Hooters brand from New York. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Hooters, but given the controversy of Nipplegate 1978, that seems like kind of a fitting option. So I don't know what focal length on this one exactly. It feels like it was taken on something longer than an 80 planar. I'll start off with my 35-100 at 100, but I've also got the 135 here that we might go to for a closer shot. Now, taking a look at this top though. Okay. I'm not sure, it's kind of hilarious to have Hooters. I will get a few options, but to try and recreate it, I think it's better if it's just plain pink. So we might end up, I don't know, turning it inside out or something. Actually, with it pulled down like this, I don't think we need to move it or anything. I think it works just nicely with the Hooters thing. So you see, I'm shooting with an overlay in a 1x1 crop because we're doing an album cover after all. It lets me see what's just out of frame with this amount of overlay. It works quite nicely. But I actually think the 135 will work better here. So let's throw that guy on. Everything's perfect. Don't move your head. Just like let your mouth slightly loose. Don't need to see teeth, but just opening the lips just a tiny bit. Yeah, this is nice. Okay. Okay, so I've gone for a couple of different variations in terms of contrast ratios across her face with more or less bounce fill, more or less with the background as well, to have all of the different options to see what combination 1 is closest to what they originally did, and 2, what we actually prefer. So that's this part of the shoot actually done. For our next shot, which is definitely more of a static shot, we've got the makeup artist vavooming her hair and makeup, and once we nail that, we can go on and play and see what other 1970s, 80s inspired album covers we can create. So after this going so 80s that the stylist hair crimper literally exploded and we had to borrow one from a salon downstairs, the final look here is all done. It's certainly very late 70s, early 80s. For the next shot, I want to basically pop a boom arm in to light her from overhead. So let's get that set up. So it's still going to be a simple key light and then bounce. Just here we'll place the big reflector across her lap to give her bounce up into her face. But this should give us just the kind of beauty light that we're looking for. So for the rear light, I just have a Nikon strobe. I've got the CTO gel in there with the diffuser dome, and I've got this set to direct remote, so it will see the other light and then just go off. Chin forward again. Really elongate your neck and chin. Yeah, that's kind of it. Now, the main thing is I want to make sure I have that highlight along the lip. Yeah, God, your lips look so great. I feel like the amount of light I have in the background is pretty great. Just if I had it even more red than CTO would be nice. Okay, so the hair is good. That's great. Okay, little lip open, chin slightly up more, and it's going to be hopeful and the future's going to be wonderful. Give me fucking side eye, Jesus. The images in this video have already been run through Rebloom. I use it for all my portraits, whether I want a minor blemish removed or a full body retouched. On this shoot, I found using the tone balance and refine tools let me perfect minor blemishes whilst also getting a subtle softening in the makeup. You can download a free trial of Rebloom to see how it works on your files in the links below. To be honest, I'm actually really happy with how that looks. It's a funny thing when you're doing a recreation, you're trying to do it exactly, but when you're doing the shoot originally, you're not thinking about it being exactly specifically the light there, it's just what worked. Having said that, for Felicia and her face shape and this studio, I don't think it's the best shot we have here. So now, with the brief of creating a late 70s, early 80s record cover, let's mix it up a little bit. I have a couple of different outfit options we can try here, and now we can basically play with it ourselves rather than trying to do specifically what Mr. Mankowitz and Miss Bush did. Okay, so I'm going to now, we've got this beautiful cheongsam on, go for a warm bronze kind of backlighting color, the gold actual background. I'm dropping the power on everything by a couple of stops so we can shoot faster. And I'm going to shoot these at, f2.5, f3.2, that kind of area, instead of f8 and f11 that I have been shooting. Like a little secret agent. Let's bring this. Can you keep it open? I'll bring it up. I want to have this flower on that kind of an angle. Oh, I love it. Now, this lens is like the prime portrait lens in the staple now, but I'm still gonna go back to the 135 for some options to compress it down a little bit more. I think it'll let me get that background further away. It's still an f2.8. Crazy to think that the latest generation, we're looking at 2.5s, but the early lens was already a 2.8. In medium format world, for a lens like this, that's pretty special. Just turn your chin towards it for me. Yeah, there's still great light on you. It's nice just looking down and eyes softly closed again. Beautiful. And then eye contact. Do the open lip again, but not smiling. Eyes up. Perfect. For this next one, we've got kind of a corset that has a bit of a Siren on the Rocks feel to it. There's something about 80s music videos, it might be Prince and Purple Rain, I don't know, that gels and smoke just come to mind for me. So this isn't any more about Kate Bush, but I want to add a little bit of color and stuff to the background and add a little bit of atmospheric fog. So I've got some canned atmosphere. I'm going to build up the shot first, then we'll add in a little bit of smoke to make sure the light's working before we do that. Backlighting for smoke is the way to go, so I have a small strobe down on the ground that's giving us the option of whatever color we want to add to it, giving light to the background and light to her. Redonkulous. Something I love about the X2D, the rear screen is so freaking detailed. It's so bright and lovely. I can really punch in and check all my details are exactly as I want them. Now we'll have eye contact. Again, open that shoulder up a little more. Which do you prefer? The soft or the harder shot?
Soft. I think it's soft one. Both are good.
But you prefer the soft? I have one more outfit that I wanted to go for, which is a sparkly sequiny thing. And for that, I think I'm actually going to have you sit on the floor and I'll shoot down at you and we hopefully get lots of specular highlights in the background. Do you have a favorite look from all the different shots we took today?
Yeah, the trunk sound.
Yeah, really pretty, huh? I really like how the warm tones carry the wood, then the outfit, then the background.
Yeah.
But the big hair, it almost looks like Native American or something. I don't know what's going on there, but it's a nice overall look.
I agree.
Yeah, so it's nice that some of our favorites from the day were ones that we improvised at the end. Thinking back, the Kate Bush leotard shoot, at the time, it wasn't about glamour or intentional sex appeal, even though it accidentally spawned Nipplegate 1978. It was about connection and being real and a glimpse into the artist's own life. Having said that, it probably did more than any beauty shoot could have for catapulting her as kind of a beauty icon throughout the 80s and onwards. And to be fair, the controversy probably added to the folklore and kind of built what was in the 70s version of going viral would be today. So I hope by recreating it with Felicia, we can help carry that folklore forward from 78 through to 26. What's initially was a controversial shoot, then became iconic, and now is inspiring further generations. So thank you to Mr. Mankowitz and to Kate for the inspiration. Also thanks to Hasselblad for challenging us to do this second recreation shoot. If you have a classic shoot in mind that you'd like to see us take on, leave us a comment below. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, leave any questions you might have, and we'll see you guys soon. Dang.